Goff shines again to lead NFC's win. Days after shining bright in the Pro Bowl games, passing the test competition, Lions quarterback Jared Goff once more flexed the prowess of his right arm. Goff, who collected the Pro Bowl game's offensive MVP, was near perfect, a nod to one of his best showings in the regular season. As the NFC starter, Goff came out slinging, throwing touchdowns to Kyle Juszczyk, Malik Nabers and Jackson Smith-Njigba, a 46-yarder, in as many NFC possessions, while AFC counterparts Joe Burrow and Russell Wilson combined for just one TD in that span. Goff finished 10 of 11 for 126 yards, the 3 TDs and a 158.3 rating. He was joined on the post-game podium by defensive MVP Byron Murphy of the Vikings, as Murphy had one of 3 NFC pick-sixes, another Lion, Brian Branch, and Murphy's former Cardinals teammate Budda Baker had the others. This is an offensive showcase in Orlando, Florida, though, and Goff was the star of the festivities Thursday and Sunday. "It was fun," he said. "It was a really good week." Chase, Thomas deliver reminders of sensational seasons. Bengals wide receiver Jamar Chase might have had one of the most underrated outstanding seasons of all time, collecting the receiving triple crown. Meanwhile, the same could be said for Jaguars rookie wideout Brian Thomas Jr., who played on a 4-win Jacksonville squad but was simply sensational. Both put on a show Sunday. Chase turned in 3 touchdowns and 101 receiving yards on 5 receptions, while Thomas had 6 catches for 78 yards and 2 touchdowns, along with a beautiful high-point grab. Chase hauled in TDs from each of the AFC's QBs, beginning with a 4-yarder from best bud Joe Burrow, then a 29-yarder from Patriots rookie Drake May and finally a 45-yarder from the Steelers' Russell Wilson. Could league's best kick returner be a pass rusher? If new Cowboys defensive coordinator Matt Eberflus was watching, maybe we might see Dallas kick returner extraordinaire Kevontae Turpin getting some snaps on defense. Turpin, a 2-time Pro Bowl returner, got a chance to finally fulfill some of his offensive potential last season, but the Cowboys have largely struggled to get the most out of the speedster. He showed Sunday he could potentially be an asset in all 3 phases. Turpin tied for the game's high with 6 tackles, aka flags pulled, and had the only sack, but he also had a sack on a conversion attempt and forced an incompletion with another pressure on a conversion. No, tackle football was not played on Sunday, but Turpin blitzing off the edge provided some excitement. Come on, Flues, give it a shot. Punt imperfect. Much like the relay race 3 days prior, the Pro Bowl game's Punt Perfect event was entertaining in head-shaking fashion. Each of the 3 relay races, in addition to the Bosa brothers' speed walking to the finish line, featured dropped balls on exchanges. Each of the 3 rounds of Sunday's punting showdown had far more misses than makes. In the debut of Punt Perfect, in which punters and a position player from each conference did their best to drop punts into a 6 barrels, think beer pong without the suds and with footballs instead of ping pong balls, it went to double overtime as the NFC's Kyle Juszczyk and Jack Fox matched the AFC's Marlon Humphrey and Logan Cook struggle for struggle. Following a tied first round, it was Cook and Fox left with 30 seconds apiece to make the most kicks and decide a winner in overtime. Both notched 3 points and sent it to double OT. Then, the 2 combined for 4 consecutive misses before Cook made good. Fox, with a chance to reply, was off the mark. Humphrey and Juszczyk are unlikely to become their squad's emergency punters anytime soon, while Fox and Cook hardly showcased the skills that got them to Orlando, but there was no shortage of drama. Does NFC three-peat signal a Super Bowl three-peat? After the NFC jumped out to a 14-7 lead following Thursday night's skills competitions, Eli Manning joked that this was the three-peat everyone was waiting to see. Of course, it was a tongue-in-cheek, but nonetheless, Eli and the NFC dominated Peyton